What's going on, people? It's your boy Phurzaah here and welcome back to my channel. Today we're back with another Modern Warfare 3 Zombies video for you guys, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys the updated method on how to do the unlimited stash glitch within Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. Now this is going to be after the patch for Season 1 Reloaded, which just happened yesterday. Now I have been working all night with a few friends in order to bring you guys an updated method for this glitch, and with the help of a lot of you in the comment section and in my Discord, we have actually gone ahead and found two different methods which you guys can do in order to achieve the unlimited stash glitch. So I'll be going ahead and showing you guys both of those methods in today's video. So drop a like on this video if it's something that you guys are interested in. Now I would highly suggest that you guys watch this video the whole way through, simply because there is quite a lot of important information that you guys will need to know, and there are going to be some great pointers in order to make your life so much easier when you are doing these methods. If you're looking to unlock the new Modern Warfare 3 camos such as Interstellar or Borealis hard unlocked, or play in bot lobbies where you guys can level up your guns and unlock camos rapidly, get all the best schematics or even instant delivery pre-made accounts, be sure to check out mixcactus.com. They're the biggest and most reliable seller of heaps of brand new offerings for Modern Warfare 3 with completely safe and legitimate services for Xbox, PC and PlayStation. These guys have well over 10,000 verified reviews on their Trustpilot page and are by far the most legitimate sellers. Be sure to use code PHURZAAH for 5% off for a limited time only. So the first method is going to involve a lot more prep than the second method, but if you guys do have a lot in your stash already, then I would only suggest going with the first method that I'm going to be showing you. If you guys do have a stash that's like under 70, then you guys can go with the second method that I'll show you. But if you guys have a stash that's over 100 or over 150, then by no means do the second method unless you really want to. But again, if you guys do have a really high stash like over 100, then you guys don't even really need to worry about it. For you guys, I would highly suggest that all you do is make a tombstone in game with everything that you actually want to play with every single game, and in that way you won't have to craft any schematics, you won't have to touch the items in your stash. Every game you can literally go in with an empty backpack, go to your tombstone and be fully stacked with every single thing that you need. Me personally, I would say that's the best option for you guys that have a stash that's already high. So the way that the first method is going to work is you guys are going to need to have a full inventory, a full backpack of items, as you guys can see right here. Now the most important thing to note is the last 4 items need to be legendary items. Now these can be legendary AETHER tools, these can be golden armor plates. As long as they are legendary items, it's going to work. Now step 2 of this is to make sure that in your stash you guys have 4 of these sigils that you guys can see on screen. So this is the triangle sigil, and this is the sigil that gets you into the tier 4 zone, which is the first stage of the dark ether. So it's not the elder sigil, which is the circle one, it's just a simple normal sigil. So you need to have 4 of those in your stash. Now you guys can get these in your stash really easily, and I'm pretty sure most of you will have these in your stash. And as I said, you guys can go in game and then just swap these with certain items in your stash that you may not need, and then you guys can pretty much just stack them up that way. So it's actually really easy to do, and I'm pretty sure most of you will have a few of those lying around already. So that's the second thing that you guys need to make sure that you have. Now the third thing that you guys need to make sure that you have in order for this to work is a character that has no large backpack. So as you guys can see, these 2 operators right here don't have a backpack, so we're going to be able to do this method with both of these characters if we wanted to. But you guys need to also make sure that the character that you're doing this with has a large backpack, and that large backpack is completely full up, with the last 4 slots being a legendary item. So as you guys can see, if we go ahead and we swap our operator out and then we go back to our gear, the last 4 items have now disappeared, simply because this operator doesn't have a big enough backpack to hold all of those items. Now it doesn't mean that we've lost those items, because if we go ahead and change back to our other operator, we go back and we can still see those legendary tools are still there. But this is where the unlimited stash glitch actually comes into play. So as you guys can see, if you look in the bottom left hand corner, you guys will see that I have 68 items in my stash. Now this is something that you guys need to remember, because you guys will see this increase as we do this method. What you guys want to do is hover over the last 4 items that's in your backpack, so ours being the legendary tools, and you want to go ahead and swap those items out for the sigils that we spoke about already. So I'm just going to quickly go ahead and do that right now. So you're just going to go through, find your sigils and swap them out. It's going to put the legendary tools in your stash, and then obviously we're going to have the sigils out in the open in our rucksack, and that's pretty much going to be stage 1 complete. complete. So we found another sigil right here, and now we have the 4 sigils that's in our rucksack. And as you guys can see, we go to our stash and we have 68 right there. But now if we go ahead and we change our operator and then we change it back, watch what happens. The sigils are gone. When we did it last time with the legendary tools, they stayed, but this time they're gone. And you may ask, where have they gone? They've gone into our stash. So as you guys can see, we now have 72 items in our stash, 4 items more than we had before. So pretty much those sigils have gone back into our stash, and we've also had the legendary tools go into our stash. So now all we have to do is go back into game, go to our tombstone, get 4 more legendary items, bring those out again, and use those same sigils to swap the items out, swap over to another character. Those sigils will go back into our backpack, and we can pretty much do that every single game. So every single game you guys can get 4 extra slots into your stash slot, and that's pretty much how this method works. So as I said guys, really easy to do. Any of you will be able to do it. Just follow what I done to the T and you guys will have no problems. I promise you, every single game you guys can throw 4 new items into your stash, and that will rack up over time. Now moving on to the second method in order to achieve the unlimited stash glitch within Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. So basically the way the second method works guys is you're going to be resetting your stash, and once you guys reset your stash, you'll be able to add items back into your stash the same way you did before without running into any problems. But if you guys don't actually understand how the stash is working and how the stash glitch works, I will actually go ahead and explain it to you. So you guys can only have 10 items in your stash. Now most of us have loads of items in our stash, but the reason why we have loads of items in our stash is because that is duplicated items. Now anytime you duplicate an item and then you exfil with that duplicated item via a mission exfil, the game hasn't registered that you've exfilled with that item. So when you go ahead and you put that in your stash, the game doesn't recognize that that's actually in your stash. So that's why your stash number isn't actually increasing. Now your stash number is increasing down here in the bottom left at the count, but if you guys go ahead and hover one of the items that's in your backpack and you try to unequip that item, it will then tell you there how much items in your true stash. So as you guys can see, I have 10 out of 10 items in my true stash. So that means that I'm at the max limit. So even though I have 72 items in my stash, as you guys can see here, the game only thinks that I have 10 items in my stash. And the 10 items in my stash that the game thinks I have is items that I would have crafted and then put in my stash, or items that I just exfilled with that wasn't duplicated and then I put those in my stash. Those are the only ones that the game's going to be counting. So the way that we need to reset the stash is by simply going through and deleting every single item out of our stash until we get this number here, which is the true number, down below 10. Now once that number is down below 10, we can go ahead and duplicate items with the tombstone glitch, leave via a mission exfil, and then we won't have to run into any problems with swapping items out. We'll literally be able to unequip the item and it will go straight into our stash because the game doesn't register that we have that item. So it might sound a bit confusing for you. I've tried to make it as understandable as I can, but I will just go ahead and show you guys exactly what I mean. So the way we're going to have to do this is we're literally just going to have to go ahead and delete every single item from our stash in order to show you guys how to do this, which is going to be a bit of a pain, but just drop a like on this video to show some appreciation for it. Once we get this number below 10, that's when we're going to go ahead and we'll start the new process for setting our new stash. Okay guys, so I've managed to go through and delete all of the items out of my stash. As you guys can see, we started off on 72 I believe, and now we're down to 26, but I can't go down any further. It actually won't allow me to delete any more items because we have gone down the initial 10 out of 10 stash slots. We're probably on like 9 or 8 originally, but obviously down here in the bottom left it is telling us 26. Now the reason that I know that we are under the actual stash limit is simply because once we add all of these items in, we're literally just going to be able to unequip them without any problems. So as you guys can see, they're all equipped. We still have 17 in our stash, so we shouldn't be able to unequip anything. and it's just going to let us unequipped without going through any process. And we know that we're underneath the 10 slot simply because if I go ahead and craft an item, I got to craft something that we can actually find. So for example, if I craft this perk, I'm going to be able to unequip this perk and it's going to go straight in my stash. Now that wouldn't actually happen if the true stash number was over the 10 out of 10. So as I said, we've managed to bring that down below the 10 out of 10, even though it says a 27 out of 10 down here. Forget that. It's more about the true number that I spoke to you about at the start of the video. So now that we've got that beneath 10 out of 10, we're just going to delete this, and pretty much from now I am set. So I can go in every single game, get my items out of my tombstone, exfil via one of the mission exfils, and then come back into the lobby. Once I come back into the lobby, all my stuff is still going to be there because obviously we exfilled via a mission exfil, and then I'll just simply be able to go ahead and unequipped the items simply like that. I'm not going to have to swap them with anything. I'm not going to have to swap them around with legendary tools or sigils or anything like that. I'm literally just going to be able to unequip them. We're going to go in game. I'm going to go get a bunch of items, and then we're going to come out of the game and I'm going to show you guys me putting it in the stash very easily without any hiccups. As you guys can see, we have 26 out of 10. So remember that number because we will be back in just a second. Okay, so we're now in game. Our tombstone is on the map. So we're just going to head straight to our tombstone. Now, if you guys watched my last video, this is a perfect example of why I put my tombstone around the water. We spawned all the way over here. Now, normally this would be quite a long distance, but it's not for us because we can literally grab this boat and then we'll get to our tombstone in no time. Okay, so we're finally at our tombstone. All we have to do is just collect everything, break our tombstone. Now, there was a guy that said that he needed some help. So he said that he lost his tombstone. So I just told him to come E4, which is my location. He said he's going to be here in 1 sec. So I'm just going to quickly wait for him, give him this stuff. I believe that's probably him there now because he's coming in quite fast. We're going to give him this money and then we're going to exfil with this stuff right here and then go ahead and throw this in our stash. This is him. Yeah, that's definitely him. Enjoy. We're just gonna go bad signal and we'll get out of here. So the moment of truth, we've loaded back up. We're just going to go straight into zombies. We're going to have everything that we exfilled with in our backpack. Everything's still going to be there, as you guys can see. Now, because we've exfilled with these items and they are duplicated items, we're just going to be able to go ahead and unequip them and throw them straight in our stash. So before we do that, let's just check the number on our stash again. As you guys can see, it's the exact same stash as last game, 26 out of 10. And now we're going to go ahead and just unequip these items nice and easy. Unequipped, 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 and we're just going to go down the whole line, as simple as that. We go back, our stash is now at 36, so that's 9 items that we're going to be able to do every single game. It's going to take us no time to get back to 250 and past where we were before, which was 72. And guys, it's as simple and as easy as that. Now, I would definitely run the risk of going all the way down and bringing your stash all the way back down just to be able to do this again, because once you guys know what you're doing, it's really easy to do. As you guys can see, we're at 35 out of 10, and we're just going to go into one more game. Okay, so at the tombstone for the second time. Let's just grab this stuff real quick and exfil. Now we've loaded it back up. You guys are going to see we're going to have everything in our backpack again as usual. And then we're just going to go ahead, check the number in our stash, 34, because we did take that scorcher case to get around a little bit easier. And then we're just going to literally go ahead and we're going to be able to unequip all of these items without having to swap them with anything else, making our life really easy. And you guys can just keep on rinsing and repeating this until you get to the max, which is around 250. And you guys can pretty much get about 9 items put into your stash every 10 minutes if you want to. Just take in a scorcher case every time, fly to your tombstone, grab all the items, exfil, put everything in your stash, and then keep on rinsing and repeating. I mean, for about an hour and a half, it might be boring, but at the end of the day, after that hour and a half or 2 hours, you're going to have a 250 stash with everything that you could possibly need or want in the game. So really easy to do. 2 methods there for you guys. As I said, if this video was helpful, please do like it and share it, because it really does help out the algorithm and it will push this video out there for people. If you guys still have questions, do let me know it in the comment section below and I'll try my best to answer as many questions as possible. Now, just before I go, the one thing that you guys need to note when doing this, please remember guys, once you've deleted everything from your stash and you've gone to reset it, make sure that you're only putting duplicated items in your stash. Do not craft items and then put those crafted items in your stash. If you want to craft items and then put the items that you've crafted in your stash, then you have to take them in game, and then you have to exfil via mission exfil and close your app. That's going to make the game think that it's not a proper item because you closed the app, and then you can go ahead and put the item in your stash. But if you just craft it and try to put it straight in your stash, that's going to take a stash number. So you might be at 9 and that's going to put you to 10, and then it's going to block you from putting anything more in your stash moving forward. So remember, only put duplicated items and make sure that everything in your tombstone is the things that you want to use every single game. Anyways, that's it for me. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. If you guys need help with anything else, do join the Discord, links in the description. If you guys haven't checked out the new tombstone glitch which I uploaded today, definitely check that video out. There will be a link at the end of the video. Anyways, it's been your boy Phurz. I'm out. Peace.